Undertaker. And this is just wrestling memories. It's not a review of anything. This is just mine and Drew's opinions. Has nothing to do with whether we're right or wrong or whatever. This isn't a review or anything like that. It's just me and Drew talking about wrestling memories that we have and your memories. When we'll have you call in too. Don't forget, I forgot to put the donation thing in there. I wasn't too worried about it. I can still put it. I can't put it in there now, but
you can put it up on the screen, couldn't you? Like through OBS or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that though.
Yeah. Well, if someone asks, I mean, we could, Bobby, you could probably put it in the chat a couple times or something. Just go.
Do you have my Streamlabs? It's https://streamlabs.com/JPBaker91. I think is what it is.
Oh well, heck, that's easy then.
So we're gonna start this with I mean, I'm gonna let Drew run with it here. I'm just introducing everybody. Before we start, y'all know how to get a hold of me, my YouTube. I don't know if Gatekeeper Drew has a YouTube. I'm sure he does. He just doesn't put anything out. So he's using me. He's using me as a media point. I'm just kidding. It's all right. I don't care. And then, oh, hold on. It's my niece. Hello? Hold on.
Well, look at how we're starting off the show, guys. How's it going?
I can't hear you, Paige. You're going to have to speak up just a little bit. Get to the phone. Hey, everybody. I said, hello, Paige. How are you? Good. See, do you know who the Undertaker is?
Huh?
Do you know who the Undertaker is? He's wrestled The Rock before.
Isn't he the guy with that hat?
Yeah, do you see, are you watching the show?
No.
Well, you should be. Oh, that's right. Just look up the Undertaker. I told her to call in, guys. Sorry. This kind of one surprise. The Undertaker we call him the Phenom, and he was a superstar that wrestled with the WWE for how long, Drew? 1990 was his first entrance into WWE, I think.
Undertaker was 1990.
And I think November 16th, 1990 was his first debut.
Are you already looking stuff up?
No.
You just remember that one.
Well, I mean, I looked that up, but that took me a hot minute to remember. I had to look that up.
I had to get out of school early today.
Yeah?
Yeah, stay tuned, guys. Later on, he's going to tell us what happened on April 16th, 1996 with The Undertaker. Just watch, guys.
Shut the fuck up, you cocksucker. So, do you have a question about The Undertaker, Paige? How about what was your favorite match?
I never watched any matches of the
No, you're asking me what my favorite match is. So ask me what my favorite match is. So say what's your favorite match? No, say what's your favorite match.
What's your favorite match?
My favorite match of The Undertaker is the match with Mankind at Hell in the Cell. Drew, what's yours?
That's a good one.
What's yours, Drew?
I would say Undertaker Shawn Michaels 2 at WrestleMania.
And since we have...
Though what you said is a good one.
Yep. And since we have Mr. Bobbitt here, what's your favorite match, Mr. Bobbitt?
I gotta go with Undertaker versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels as a guest ref.
That was a good one. WrestleMania 25. I can't remember. I'm too old for that shit.
I had a WWE game on my phone where you get like to fight people. It's like WWE on.
Yep, and the Undertaker is on there. Go ahead.
And I seen Triple H fight like I had John Cena and The Rock.
Nobody cares about John Cena, Paige.
What?
I'm just kidding. We're talking about the Undertaker. The Undertaker's on that game too, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like.
I know.
I'm just saying, like, I defeated actually the Undertaker in the game too, though.
Yeah. That's cool.
So.
All right.
Yay.
Well, how you get your schoolwork done? Watch the show, and you'll learn about the Undertaker. Okay.
All right.
All right. I love you, honey. Have a good day.
Yep.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
All right. She said goodbye if you didn't hear. All right. I'll talk to you later, honey. I love you. Thanks for calling.
Yep. Right. See you next week.
Yeah. I love you.
Me too.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I told her to call in. I forgot to tell you.
No, it's all good.
Go ahead.
You kind of went over it already, but what the show is about is our memories. We're going to do our best to not look it up. If we have to look up something, we're going to ask Mr. Foulmouth Bobbitt to do so, and mostly for clarification purposes.
Well, and remember I said this is for clarification purposes. When was Undertaker's debut, Bobbitt?
We're going to go pull it up.
Now, like I said, guys, this could be a two-parter because I could talk about Undertaker for like 5 episodes. I really could.
And another thing we wanted to get out there is about callers. If you'd like to call in the chat, let Bobbitt know,
and he'll add
his
you
name on there so he sees it, or at least make sure when the mods see it so they can help you get him tagged in there or whatever. But request through Bobbitt. Don't call JP because till we get that all figured out, it boots everyone else off the call. So that's really our only way right now.
And I don't mind just adding people to calls. It's not that big of a deal. I know how to hang. I know how to, if we get too many people in there, I know how to hang up on people. No. Not that I'll hang up. I don't mean to sound like I'm being a douchebag, but all right. So let's get rolling on this. So Bobbitt, have you pulled that up yet? Bobbitt, are you there?
Ladies and gentlemen, Bobbitt is dead. I'm sorry to announce.
Don't make me have to look up. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was. It's like November. It was right before Survivor Series. I do know that. 1990 Survivor Series.
What was your question?
Oh my God! When did the Undertaker debut?
He debuted on a taping of Superstars on November 19th, 1990.
I was close. I said November 16th.
Okay, so what I'd like to start with is the concept of the Undertaker. So as him, most of us remember him as Mean Mark Callis in the WCW. He wrestled briefly as a tag team and briefly as a singles wrestler. I don't even think he was there a year. But then he came over to WWF in November 19th of 1990, and he didn't come out as a human being, Mark Callis or Mark Calloway or whoever. He came out as an undead, pale eyes, no life signs to him, kind of a character. Now just think about that for a second. I mean, even the people that we have today that are in wrestling that have maybe some sort of a gimmick like that, they're all very much alive. They're just scary, like Braun Strowman. A little kid looks at him and is scared because Braun is an intimidating human being. They might call him the monster among men, but they've never tried to convince us that he's not human. With the Undertaker, they wanted us to think that he was undead and unstoppable. And as a little kid, I can attest to that, maybe I didn't buy into it too much because I was a little older, but he really, you remember those shots in the crowd where the children are staring at him as he's pulling out the body bag. And they just have this ghastly look on their face.
They're scared shitless.
Yeah. And that it had been tried before, but not to that degree. You look at wrestling, and what I mean by this is gimmicks where the person doesn't need to look exactly human, and they really bombed with it, like the Red Rooster, or you remember that Beetlejuice guy in WCW who was trying to be like some cheap knockoff of Beetlejuice. One could even say Sting is one of them, even though he kind of had that surfer gimmick. They tried to make him look a little different than human in a way.
Yep.
At least to the little kid in me, that's what I saw. But then the Undertaker hit the scene, and all of a sudden we bought that. We believed it. At least as a kid. I bought into that. I looked at the Red Rooster and went, "Caw-caw! Oh, fuck you," whatever. And then even after the Undertaker, with the exception of Kane, which is Undertaker's brother, if anyone doesn't know. We'll get to that, of course. But there were characters like Mantar, Man Mountain Rock, Bastion Booger, whatever the hell that was supposed to be. Papa Shango was somewhat over for a while. But it was like Vince McMahon took the go. Well, there's a shot already.
Well, I'm not going to do that in this show because it's not me ranting and raving. So I'm not gonna let you all shot. So I'm not gonna.
But I still have a shot. But we won't count for beer.
You're good. You're good though.
No. So I think Vince McMahon took a crazy pill after he created the Undertaker and saw what he had there, and he started coming out with all these crazy, mind-boggling characters. We had a hockey player that wore his skates into the ring.
Yes.
And tried wrestling around the Goon. Fitting the Goon, Only if he looked like a little more like JD from New York, but
yeah, the over the top characters is what you're talking about.
Say that again.
The over the top characters you're talking
about.
Right,
they can never capture that magic in the bottle.
Right.
Like they did with Taker. Like I said, they got close with Kane, but I just wanted to kind of cover that. That was how I wanted to lead into this, to really get everyone to wrap their minds around who the Undertaker was supposed to be, and now we can talk about progressively what he's become.
Right.
And really, I mean, aside from mentioning Brother Love and $1 Million Man, who originally brought him in, I think now's an appropriate time to say the name Paul Bearer. Got any thoughts there, JP?
Not yet. I wouldn't say Paul Bearer yet, because Paul Bearer was not his original manager. But no, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back even further. He was in World Class Championship Wrestling before he went to. You got to remember back then, back in those days, in the 80s and early 90s, it was still regional wrestling. So each region had their own and Mark Calloway, which is the Undertaker, the Phenom's real name. You're gonna hear me refer to him to the Phenom. You're gonna hear him referred to as the Undertaker. You're gonna hear me refer to him as a dead man. I mean, I was when he debuted in WWF. I was 18 when he debuted. But he came into wrestling. His first intro to wrestling was in World Class Championship Wrestling, which I want to say was in Texas, under Jeff Jarrett's dad, Jerry Jarrett. His name was Texas.
That was in Texas, yeah.
It was Texas Red was his name. So I just wanted to point that out. He didn't get his start in WCW. He got his start in WCCW, actually.
Right.
Which then became WCW, I do believe. But But
and again, that's your memory of it.
The very first memory I have of the Undertaker, and I was 18, so I really wasn't scared of the Undertaker. I was in awe of it because I was kind of like, how can this guy be dead? This is not real. So I kind of figured, and I was old enough to know that it really wasn't real. I knew by then that wrestling wasn't real, but that it was entertaining to me. And the Undertaker actually began, if you want to talk about a guy that went through so many phases of the WWF, from the time the over-the-top characters, which is what the Undertaker was supposed to be. His first manager was Brother Love. Y'all remember Brother Love? I love you. That guy was his original manager. He brought him in. Then, I don't know how long that lasted. I cannot be honest with you. It had to have lasted at least before he got his first title shot. So it was only like a couple of months. That's when he got Percy Pringle, who became Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and thanks for covering that. I was going to kind of just jump up to that and just briefly mention the $1 Million Man and Brother Love, because when you think of the whole 25-year career, they're just a little footnote in it.
Yeah. I just wanted to make that point that was his original.
Were they even there for his title shot against Hogan at Tuesday in Texas?
Don't think so. That's a question that Bobbitt, can you look that up for us, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just get back to us. We'll keep talking. Just get back to us. You just pop in and say. Just pop in and say yes or no. Just tell us what is yes or no, because I'll forget.
Yeah, for Bruce Pritchard, that's it. He was Brother Love.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was just looking at the chat a little bit. I was answering Trackster. He was wondering if Bruce Pritchard was Brother Love.
Yes.
That's right.
That is correct. Bruce Pritchard was Brother Love. You are correct. Very good. You get a cookie.
According to this,
okay,
he switched from Brother Love to Paul Bearer on the same night he debuted, according to this.
Okay, well, there you go.
That does make sense, but I thought Ted DiBiase was there for a little while. No, maybe not. And see, that's where this memory thing gets interesting.
Yep. And if you guys know stuff, that's okay. That you more than welcome. No cheating, no. Just kidding. I don't care. You guys can cheat. Me and Drew aren't going to cheat, though.
I've got enough to do as it is that I'm trying to keep my thoughts together. I don't have time to cheat.
No, I mean neither.
Because I'd start stuttering crazy.
Right. So,
Paul.
Go ahead.
So Paul Bearer was what I brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And my first memories of Paul Bearer is, first off, this guy is believable as hell. I don't know what the fuck he's supposed to be, because there's the Undertaker. Paul Bearer isn't going to be able to carry a casket on his own. He might have one in his stomach, but he didn't have one he could carry.
Right.
And he carried the urn. He was the possessor of the urn. He kept Undertaker in check.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to think. I thought his name was kind of cute. The play on words there. I thought that was real.
That was WWE though. That was Vince McMahon. His little play on words. Isaac Yankem.
Speaking of Kane again.
which is Kane. Right. And we'll hit him too. He didn't have a career like the Undertaker though, but.
Oh, I did. No, I'm kidding. So Paul Bearer, but he was necessary, especially for those early years where the Undertaker was really playing off the true dead man, the undead man, and might be a better terminology for that.
Right.
but his eyes would roll in his head. He didn't say anything, but for a while he didn't say anything. But finally he started saying "rest in peace," and Paul Bearer was basically his Paul Heyman.
Yes,
Paul Heyman to Brock Lesnar, Paul Bearer to the Undertaker.
And he didn't have to say much either, to be honest with you. I mean,
no, you didn't want to hear him talk for long. It got annoying after a while.
Oh yeah, but
my Undertaker.
Well, I liked the way he talked though. He did such a great job. It was over the top, but it worked.
Right, but after a couple minutes of him talking, you're ready to go stick your head in a deep fryer,
Sometimes. Yep. But
so
he was the WWF champion from. I see in your notes here it says 1990. I don't remember him winning the title that early. Who didn't he?
He beat Tuesday in Texas against Hogan.
Okay, I knew he beat Hogan. I thought it was like 92 or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, it was a bullshit finish, and why do I not remember this? I thought I would, and I'm sure someone in the chat would. My brother's in there; he'll probably be laughing at this.
Mm-hmm.
But Taker lost it like a couple days later, and I think he was forced to vacate it.
Your wife's in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Ruby. Hi Tara. How's it going? Thanks for being here.
But what I was saying was, I think he lost the title to vacate just a couple days later. He only had the title a couple days. If not, Hogan won it right back. And now I'm starting to lean toward the Hulk Hogan won it back. Now, there you go, Trexler. Thank you. He won it at Survivor Series and lost it Tuesday in Texas. They went back to back with they piggybacked off the Survivor Series to try that Tuesday pay-per-view concept. That's what it was. And Hogan did cheat to win it back. Man, Trek, do you want to call in, dude?
Trek, if you want to call in, dude, go ahead. Trek, if you want to call in, call in.
You want me to tell you what actually happened?
No, not really. Yeah, go ahead, Bobbitt. Well, let's see if Trexter wants to call in first.
Okay.
If he doesn't want to call in, that's fine. But if he wants to call in, call in. Stop saying hi to Tara and Ruby and call in. Just kidding, man. You're good. You're good, brother. You're good. You're good.
Well, while we get that figured out, you look at, so we've got Paul Bearer, we've got The Undertaker, we've got a title reign that was brief. Now, where does The Undertaker go from here? He proceeds to, in my memory, he carries on this gimmick of the body bag. He pinning jobbers left and right every week. They throw him in the body bag and leave. And that seemed to carry on for a couple of years where there wasn't a whole lot for him, other than to just be the destroyer of everybody. Okay. Which is fine. But I don't recall seeing him in any other title shots.
We're not teasing you, Trexter. We really wanted you to call in. I'm not picking on you at all, dude. You seem to know a lot about that.
He had his WrestleMania match with King Kong Bundy, and he had his match with Giant Gonzalez. God, please make us forget that one.
Yeah.
The fucking chloroform.
So he doesn't have Skype, so he can't call in. So go ahead, Bobbitt. Tell us what you were going to say.
Okay. According to this, Ric Flair helped Taker win the title from Hogan.
Okay.
And 6 days later, he lost the title back to Hogan, but the WWF president at the time, Jack Tunney, vacated the title, and then the title was won by Ric Flair at the Rumble match.
There you go. And that explains why I couldn't remember if the title was vacated or won back, because it was actually both. Okay.
So there we go.
Thank you, Bobbitt. You're doing a mighty fine job now that you're awake.
Well, I was never asleep.
Breaking news from Bobbitt, Heather says. So
we've got the body bag thing. We've got the first couple WrestleManias he was in. Unbeknownst to us, the beginning of the streak. I don't really remember the King Kong Bundy match. I sadly remember the Giant Gonzalez match. A couple more years.
I didn't I'm gonna tell you right now. Back then, I did not watch pay-per-views. I could not afford it. I was a poor kid from a poor family. Scadaboosh, scadaboosh. But so I didn't get to watch a lot of the pay-per-views. I do remember a lot of the matches that he had because I watched, Superstars and all that stuff. But I just honestly don't remember many of his matches. Not gonna lie to you. And as far as pay-per-views go, I just know whether or not he won. If that makes sense.
No, I understand. So the mid '90s are a little vague for me on that. Like I said, I just remember a lot of ass kicking and taking names, but nothing super over the top from him until maybe 95, 96. So we could just kind of scoot over to that unless someone in the chat jumps in and goes, "Hey, don't forget this."
We can do this. This is when his streak started pretty much immediately. He wasn't at the first WrestleMania, I don't think. Right?
Taker?
Or was he?
He wasn't at the first WrestleMania. That was years before.
No. His first WrestleMania, I said, you bonehead.
Oh. I misunderstood you.
But you should be sorry. But anyway, so no, his first WrestleMania was it then? Like 1991? Because what his record's like 24-2, right? Or 23-2?
23-2.
Okay.
Because he beat Shane and Bray Wyatt since the 21-1.
I don't remember. I honestly do not remember his first opponent.
King Kong Bundy.
Okay, there you go. See, Drew knows more about this stuff than I do. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Some of those things, and that's really not a memory for me.
Right.
That's more of a, I've over the years I've kind of learned things just from Wikipedia Bob,
Right.
Oh, all right, Bob. Who was the first WrestleMania opponent?
Yo. You asked that because I have the Streak DVD right here. It was.
If you've seen the DVD,
what?
I said if you've seen the DVD, then you should just know this.
Jimmy and Superfly Snuka.
Damn you, Trexter! I'm gonna, every time Trexter's right and I'm not, I should have a shot. So I should be up to like 3 now.
Terry, your husband is going to be drunk before the end of the night. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, these are hypothetical shots because all I've got is iced tea and Mountain Dew right now. So
yeah. So, yep. So moving on.
Let's jump up to the next thing I remember, which is Undertaker versus Undertaker.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
I remember, like I said, I didn't see the pay-per-view match, but I do remember it.
The $1 Million Man claimed that he had revived because in real life, Taker had an injury that spanned several months. But within that time frame, to kind of cover up that he was in fact undead and not really hurt, $1 Million Man said, I can't remember what they did, air quotes, temporarily kill off the Undertaker so he could address the injury. But what they did was they brought in a fake Undertaker to continue wrestling, and $1 Million Man claimed he had found the Undertaker, he had bought him off, and here he is. And this fake Undertaker instantly was a heel when the real Taker was a face.
Right.
And started terrorizing the faces for several months. But then Paul Bearer came back and swore he had the real Undertaker.
Okay.
Which led to a face-off on Raw where there were 2 Undertakers and they set the match. Yeah. And obviously the good one won because we never saw the bad one again.
Right. I just remember, isn't that when he broke his orbital bone? And he had to take a break.
If he did,
and he came back.
He broke it twice because he broke it several years, like in the last decade, he's broken it. But if he did back then man, he's got some bad luck with his eye.
He came back as a. Okay, thank you, Heather. It led to the urn being the power behind the Undertaker, she says. So, where is I going? Because I know that when he first broke his orbital bone or whatever it was, he actually wore like a Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yes.
And then the other Undertaker.
So it was his orbital bone, you're right.
So the other Undertaker wore a or no, he didn't wear a mask, but the real Undertaker, that's why he was missing for a while, because he broke his orbital bone, and then he came back, and the other Undertaker was there, and this is where that whole storyline led up to Undertaker versus the Undertaker. Was that a WrestleMania match?
Was it a WrestleMania match? No, it was not. I thought it was. I believe it was just one of the In Your Houses, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if they would have had a better storyline, it probably would have worked a lot better. Or a better wrestler, because I guess the guy that they had using him as the fake Undertaker, it was SummerSlam. Trexter said, "Trexter, Bobbitt, you're gonna be fired in a minute." I'm just kidding, man. Hey, y'all need to just to throw this out there real quick. Y'all need to thank Bobbitt for this thumbnail. Did an awesome job with it. Just throw that out there. This is all Bobbitt. So if you want him to fucking put a thumbnail out there for you, you know how to get a hold of him. He said he loves doing it. Just shouting you out there, brother.
Trexter and my brother both are saying SummerSlam 94.
Okay.
So here's the trivia question. I'd like to lead into a trivia question since I've actually ruined a couple of the ones I already had.
Knucklehead. Go ahead.
Who was the other Undertaker?
Chat,
I'm looking at you, chat.
That I do not know. And you can call in.
Hold off a second.
You can call in with the answer if you'd like, and then ask a question if you'd like, as well.
There you go. Welcome, Rain, and way to nail that one.
What?
He came in. We hadn't even seen Rain yet tonight. He just walks in, and boom, Brian Lee was the Undertaker. Mic drop.
Okay.
But you'd remember Brian Lee as Chains from the DOA when they had the motorcycle gang in WWE. He was in WCW for a little while as Brian Lee.
Mm-hmm.
ECW. I mean, he made his rounds.
Right.
But that was Brian Lee.
Here's a fun
Chains
fact
would be
for
the
you.
one you'd most remember.
Sure, Bobbitt.
Brian Lee is the Undertaker's real life cousin.
Well, there you go.
Interesting.
There you go.
That's really interesting. I did not know that.
There you go.
So that kind of derailed me a little bit. I'm sitting here thinking about that. I'm like, that's his cousin. No shit.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that.
So we had Undertaker.
See, I don't know everything. I don't know everything, people. I don't claim to.
Well, we're exposing ourselves by doing this.
It's okay though.
We actually do know.
That's okay. I mean, once we get
a lot of people would be in the same shoes as us.
Once we get towards the Attitude Era and shit, game on, people.
Right. Well, I'm going to get us a little bit closer because I'm going to move on to the next notable feud that I can recall. There might have been something in '95 that I'm forgetting, but enter in Mankind.
Well, Yokozuna was a feud too.
Yeah, I see that one's not very notable. I mean, other than seeing him tombstone Yokozuna, which was quite a feat at that time, I really don't know why I need to care about that otherwise.
Fair enough, Drew. Fair enough.
They might have swapped the title once, but
right.
Otherwise, I don't have much recollection on that.
Yeah.
But with Mankind, what are your memories with Taker and Mankind? There's obviously the obvious one, but what are some of your early
Their
memories?
feud lasted forever.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't one of these short. Almost immediately, it had to do with Paul Bearer again. Coming back to Paul Bearer, I don't remember. I think I was gone during this time. Yeah, I was gone during the beginning of the feud. I kind of took a little bit out from 95 to 96-ish, kind of. I mean, I kind of kept an eye on it, but then I kind of didn't, because I was newly married, and and we didn't have cable. We were poor, so I couldn't exactly sit down and watch WWE every Monday or whatever. But I do remember, every now and then, like his very first feud. It was on last night. I was watching just debuts of all time. The very first debut of Mankind was he started a feud with the Undertaker, which led to a match where Mankind beat the Undertaker at an In Your House. And then another really good match, a match that I loved between the Undertaker what has to do with Mankind, was the Boiler Room match.
And Trek just referenced that in the chat.
There you go. The Undertaker started as a heel. I do remember that. When he first came in, came out as a heel, and then the whole feud with the after that, they kind of started gradually. Once they got more towards the Attitude Era, there was no such thing as a face or a heel anymore. Because if you remember, and this going a little bit off topic here, the Undertaker was always supposed to be a heel because of the character that he portrayed. That was the idea that Vince McMahon had for him, was to be a bad guy. And I'm throwing quotes up.
In what world do you see the guy that's burying your loved one a good guy? I mean,
right.
Thank you for taking care of my loved one, but you never, in that line of work, you never see someone having a good day.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. But, I mean, so The Undertaker was technically supposed to be a bad guy, but then the WWE got to the point, the fans started getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. Like, why is this guy being treated like a bad guy? I love his character. I love what he does in the ring. I loved The Undertaker from the first time I saw him. I wanted to see him kick everybody's butt, And I got to watch my mouth because your in-laws are in here too, Drew. Just throwing that out there. You there? I think I lost Drew. Hold on a second.
Pito Skypes.
Oh, so I lost Drew. Did you hear what I said? Probably not.
No, I lost like the last 10, 15 seconds. There.
Okay, so your in-laws are watching.
No, yeah, I saw that.
But I was talking about. I was
talking to them right before we started the show.
Oh, I was just talking about how I've always loved The Undertaker. I've always loved his character, so.
Yeah, and they, to your point about he was meant to be a heel,
mm-hmm.
They found really good ways to make him a face. And it really early on, the character no longer resembled what he intended to. He was supposed to be a guy who worked in a cemetery and was undead at the same time. But after the first few years, no one cared about that anymore. I mean, when you look at The Undertaker, say, wrestling Roman Reigns this year, just to bring up the most recent time we've seen him. Forget the fact that he's old and needs to retire. Just look at the character that came out there. Did the thought this guy is undead and digs holes in a cemetery ever cross your mind?
I think you just lost him again. We're having. Oh no, you have Skype issues. Your wife said, "Don't hold back. We are just being supportive." I don't know what that means, but whatever. If you want me to just let loose, I'll let loose. I mean, your daughter's watching.
Nah, it probably wouldn't be anything she hadn't heard, but
yeah, but no, I'm not like
so
that.
You didn't hear what I said then?
I don't know if you were not talking.
No, I was talking. I said, look back at the match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
At what point in his entrance or him standing there did you ever think, look at that man, he's undead and he digs graves in a cemetery? Did that thought ever cross your mind looking at him this year?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No, because I was 18, so it didn't bother me. I looked at
this year when he had his match against Undertaker.
Oh,
did the thought ever cross your mind that that's his gimmick?
No. That gimmick was dead when he lost to Brock Lesnar. The gimmick died when he lost.
The gimmick was dead long before that. But you think the guy who rode the motorcycle and chewed skull was a grave digger that was undead?
No, you're right.
You think the Ministry of Dark or the Ministry of Darkness that guy was a grave digger?
No. I mean, yeah, I guess I can see where you're saying. Are you yelling at me?
My point is that gimmick didn't even matter after a few years. He took on his own. He just took the name with him.
Mm-hmm.
But when I hear the word Undertaker, even in plans for prepping a funeral, or when someone's talking about a funeral and they say we've got to book the Undertaker,
mm-hmm.
I don't think about some guy who's going to dig a hole. They say I'm going to book the Undertaker. I think of the guy who led an army of minions down to the ring to take on the corporation. I think of a guy who chewed skull, drove a motorcycle to the ring, and called people assholes or whatever the hell, I think of the guy that we saw go twice to the limit with Shawn Michaels. I don't think of an old man that's going to be digging a grave.
Oh, not when he faced
real life.
Not when he faced Roman Reigns, no.
Right, but what I'm saying is, when in real life I'm having a discussion about a real life Undertaker, that's the first place my mind goes. So I've got to step back in and wrap my head around it. If someone says, I'm going to look out for the boogeyman, I don't think of the toothless fucker that was in WWE 10 years ago. I think of the actual boogeyman because he hasn't captivated me like that. Mm-hmm. Name me another wrestler that captivated you to the point where when you hear that term in real life, you go, oh, they're not talking about the wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Maybe The Rock, if someone references the movie The Rock, I have a little confusion there. But there's not too many out there.
Well, The Rock was an evolution of Rocky Maivia. That wasn't... That's not... Yeah. I mean, he was called Taker. They called him Taker. They called him Taker, Undertaker. Like I said, Dead Man. The Dead Man gimmick died a long time. It died... When I think of The Undertaker, I think of the streak. The WrestleMania streak. This is where I get a little annoyed with the WWE and why would you have a part-time garbage wrestler beat The Undertaker? Why would you kill off your greatest creation that made your company and took it to new levels, new heights? And I know The Rock and the Stone Colds and the Triple H's and all of the Shawn Michaels, they didn't have half the career this guy did. They ruined him by beating him with Brock Lesnar. They ruined his idea. Does that make sense to anybody? That's what I'm talking about.
Right. No, and I want to point out what TSS2 is kind of making the point. Undertaker's a pop culture icon. People who don't watch wrestling know who he is. this.
Yes.
I've told a couple people this week about, they'll, just in small talk or whatever, sitting at the bar when I've been setting up this cheat shop, and we're talking about, hey, what are you doing in the next couple days, or what are your plans and stuff like that, like you always have. And I told them I'm doing a podcast. First time I've ever done one. Oh, wow, that's cool. And eventually they asked, well, what's it about? And I said, you probably don't really know, but it's about the Undertaker. They're like, oh, the wrestler.
Yeah.
And they clearly never, come to find out, neither of these people ever watched wrestling, really, but they knew who the Undertaker is.
Yep.
So thanks for pointing that out.
If there is, and I loved Stone Cold because of, and I say Stone Cold is my favorite wrestler. I'm not going to even say that. I should say my favorite character of all time is the Undertaker. His longevity, the way he carried himself, he had all three of the factors that I think it takes to be a champion in the W. I don't think he should have ever lost the title. I'm kidding, of course. But he could carry a match. He can wrestle. For a big man, this guy could wrestle. Yeah, he wasn't.
And the way he came off the top rope, he was very athletic. Where most big guys couldn't.
He could cut a promo. Hear me out. Do you not think that him saying 3 words made you go, wow? He's the only character to ever do that. And then roll his eyes in the back of his head. If I was wrestling that guy... Go ahead.
He was one of the few wrestlers that could ever actually send tingles up my spine. I mean, there were certain situations or scenarios or parts of a show where that might happen. But he could do that every time by just saying those 3 words and rolling the eyes in the back of his head. Especially when I was a kid, I could feel the tingle going up my spine.
So Timothy, then answer me this question. Since WWE, and I agree with you. I know they did. Why would they have him lose again? Makes no sense. Why? Because he had already lost? Because he'd already lost? That's a bull crap answer.
You know what? I think it's time to have that streak discussion. Do you agree?
The what?
The discussion of the streak, whether it should have ended, whether it shouldn't have, that thing.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be
absolutely.
I mean, if we're going to do it, we got to start it now because this could go for a while.
This could go until the next episode. Just give me a second. I'm going to take a quick break because I have a weak bladder.
Hey, commercial time.
I don't do it. Do you mind if I play them? I mean, I don't want to scare your daughter off.
No. I told them long ahead of time. Okay. There's going to be commercials. If you don't want to hear them, hit the mute button.
All right. So the first commercial is Dickens Cider commercial. Bear with me. Everybody's favorite commercial. It's a refreshing beverage of Dickens Cider. I can't keep a straight face with that one.
It's the cider that every girl wants, right?
And then I'm going to...
Alpha doesn't think the streak should have been broken.
All right, be right back, y'all.
It is 17 minutes after the hour. Remember the advertising campaign?
Wrong one. Damn it.
This show's going off without a hitch, guys. How's it going?
Piss off. Just give me a second. I thought I had it. That was the wrong one. Where in the hell is it? Ah, here it is. Oh, that's the unicorn one. I'll play the unicorn one.
Yeah, just play one, yeah. I've already taken my piss and came back in the time you've been trying to figure this out.
Keep it down, you.
This is where your ice cream comes from. Creamy poop of a mystic unicorn. Totally clean, totally cool, and soft served straight from the sphincter. They're good at pooping. But you know who sucks at pooping? You do. That's because when you sit on a porcelain throne, this muscle gets a kink in the hose and stops the Ben and Jerry's from sliding out smoothly. Is that a problem? I don't know. Are hemorrhoids a problem? Because sitting at this angle can cause hemorrhoids, bloating, constipation, and a buttload of other crap. Seriously, unicorn hemorrhoids? The glitter gets everywhere. But what happens when you go from a sit to a squat? Voila, this muscle relaxes and that kink goes away faster than Pegasus laying sweet sherbet dookie. Now your colon's open and ready for battle. That's because our bodies were made to poop in a squat, and now there's a product that lets you squat in your own home. Introducing the Squatty Potty. No, Squatty Potty is not a joke. And yes, it will give you the best poop of your life, guaranteed. I don't just mean you bloated lords and hemorrhoidal ladies. I mean everyone. King, unking. King, unking. It's simple science, really. Can't get the last scoop out of the carton. With the Squatty Potty, you get complete elimination. Spend too much time on the chamber pot. The Squatty Potty makes you go twice as fast for your money back. I stream, you stream, and plop, plop, baby. Maybe you're sore from squeezing out solid globs of rocky road. The Squatty Potty gives you a smooth stream of froyo that glides like a virgin swan. Plus, when you're done, it tucks neatly out of sight thanks to its innovative, patented design. Truly a footstool fit for a constipated king. So, if you're a human being who poops from your butt, click here to order your Squatty Potty today at squattypotty.com. You wish you tried it years ago. And if you don't trust the prince, how about your doctor? Shark Tank, HuffPost, NPR, Men's Health, Howard Stern. He poops from his butt. They're all crazy about the Squatty Potty. Not to mention the 2,000 Amazon users who gave the Squatty Potty 5 stars, including the author of this moving haiku.
Oh, Squatty Potty, you fill me with endless joy. Yet leave me empty.
So order your Squatty Potty today. I'm not saying it will make your poop as soft as this cookies and cream, but I'm not saying it won't. Squatty Potty, the stool for better stool. Pooping will never be the same. And neither will ice cream. How does it taste? Is that delicious? Is that the best thing you've ever had in your life? There you are. Ever wonder what's at the end of a rainbow? A unicorn's butt. It's beautiful, as you know. What you don't know, it...
Okay.
Playing again?
No,
Okay,
no, it was a different one.
No, so I've got to know one thing. When he asks her what it tastes like, is he talking about the ice cream or the shit?
I don't know. I'm not going to lie. You're the one that sent it to me.
Hey, I'm trying to keep up the visual for everybody here. We can't be PG all night. Fuck.
Whoa, easy.
What's up, Sarah?
Hey, Sarah, how's it going? All right, back. I hope that was a great commercial. I got the other one. The next commercial we'll do here in about 15 minutes. I got my dog sitting here. I'm actually eating. But back to what we were talking about. We want to talk about the streak. You want to talk about whether the streak should have ended, or do you want to talk about...
Yeah, the streak itself, I think we all pretty much know the history of the streak.
Okay.
But I really want to touch on the topic of, and I think most people can agree with everyone on this, but should the streak have ended? So in the chat, if we could, put a 1 if you think the streak should have ended, a 2 if the streak shouldn't have ended, or 69 if you'd like to take Michelle McCool away from it. Because I know people are going to hit 69 anyway, so might as well. Yeah, see, Bobbitt, thanks. Just kind of get an idea of where everyone's sitting on this. I have a feeling, though, that pretty much everybody's going to have the same thought process here. Or maybe no one's going to answer. Maybe I'm just impatient.
You're impatient. That's all right. I'm going to say it should have never fucking ended. Ever. Because this guy should have been your number one guy forever. He was better than Hulk Hogan. He was better than Stone Cold. He made your company. And anybody, and this is my opinion now, don't think that I'm saying that you're all wrong. In my opinion, he is the company. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to tell me any different. The Undertaker is, the guy was there for 26 years. He's still there. He ain't left yet. That's all I'm saying.
Well, my thought on it, here we go. We've got, okay, well,
the Roman Reigns should have never, ever, ever, ever beat The Undertaker. I don't care what anybody freaking says. Sorry. Go ahead.
I love how Timothy pulls at your strings. That's hilarious. I love watching that.
That's fine. I'm just saying. He put it out there. I wasn't going to say it, but he put it out there, so I'm going to say it. They should have never beat him. Should have never beat him.
Tim, my first string tonight, I will hold up in the air for you, man. I love how you do. Put out my 2 cents on the streak. You still have me?
Yeah. I'm listening.
My personal opinion is this streak should not have ended. And my thoughts on how it should have ended, I know I've told you, but of course for everyone else, is it should have ended after the Triple H match with Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. There was nowhere else to go from there. And they, other than Brock ending the streak, they haven't gone anywhere else with it. It's beating a dead horse at this point. So after that match, they had their little curtain call at the top of the stage. That's great. But after that, what he should have done was gone back to the center of the ring for like one last kneel to the ground with his arm out in front of him. And then the ring fills up with smoke. And when the smoke clears, all you have is the urn sitting there. Curtain call, case closed, nice knowing you. The only time I ever want to see you again is when you get your Hall of Fame induction.
Bring out the urn. And this is how I would do it. When he does his Hall of Fame induction, bring out the urn, set it down, and then all of a sudden, the same thing. The way he went out, he comes back in.
Right, yeah, and that would be neat. That would be really a cool little tie-in, and maybe an Easter egg for some people who, depending on how many years removed from that he would get inducted, it could be an Easter egg for people who saw that happen years before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so that's my thought on, whether the streak should have ended or not. You said your part, Bob, and if you're still there, I want to hear your thoughts on
it. I don't think. Well, if they was going to end the streak, it shouldn't have been against Lesnar. It should have been against CM Punk, honestly.
And see, I'm a CM Punk fan. He's my favorite. But okay, go ahead. I won't interrupt.
I think that's all he had to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'll touch on that then. I think CM Punk was too old. My thought is, and I wasn't going to really jump into this part of the topic, but we can bounce around. My thought of, if you held a gun to my head and said the streak has to end today, who's it going to be? And I'm talking at WrestleMania 30. Right before Brock Lesnar beat him when the streak was still intact. If I could pick anyone from that roster and say they should be the one to take the streak. And again, you're holding a gun to my head, so I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an unpopular decision, but Roman Reigns. Now, hear me out as to why.
You should see my face right now.
I'm sorry?
You should see my face right now.
So, the Roman Reigns we see today would have never existed had they done that and done it right. Because he was in a position to where he was the dominant person in the Shield. Even though Ambrose was kind of the leader, Rollins was the muscle. He was the Arn Anderson. He was the kind of China in a way in DX's case. But he was that enforcer. He was the muscle. And he could have gotten over at that time early on. He was still in his 20s, and you could have built an entire career with a shot of momentum like that. And the other thing, and this is where people might start to see my point, is he would have to be healed to do it. He would have had to have came away from the Shield, been a heel, beat Taker, and went from there with it, and write your own story from there. I'm not going to try and write 5 years of Roman with him beating Taker at 30.
I hope you're looking at the stream. If not, you're going to have to rewind it.
Why, did you go on camera and give me the bird or something?
No, I was sticking my finger down my throat.
Okay.
Not because of your talking, because of who you're talking about.
If you don't mind, I'll tell you something here fast. This is how I would have booked the end of the streak. I'm going to change my answer a little bit. Well, everybody knows that the Undertaker's from Texas, right?
Uh-huh.
They should have ended the streak at WrestleMania 32 against Bray Wyatt.
Nope. No. You think Bray Wyatt really deserves to beat The Undertaker, Bobbitt?
Yes.
Why?
It would have.
First of all,
it would have added more to the Bray Wyatt character. It would have changed the way that they booked him, and plus, it should have gone to a younger guy, not fucking part-time Brock Lesnar.
Okay, I was just asking your opinion. Shit.
No,
you're fine, man. It's too bad Sting and Taker didn't happen. We'll talk about that. I've got some thoughts on that too.
The reason I know my answer for that is Roman Reigns is because I had that discussion with a couple of friends. Shout out to Justin if you're listening. But we had this discussion a few months before WrestleMania 30, before they'd actually booked that match. And I remember Justin exactly. He kept saying, the conversation was about the streak, and then I brought up the topic of, if we had to end the streak now, who would it be? And he just sat there the whole night. He's like, I wouldn't fucking end it, so I'm not going to fucking answer it. I'm not going to. It was hilarious. But I think, in all honesty, as we talked about it, standing there at that moment in time, Roman Reigns was the one that made the most sense. And so yeah, you're sticking your finger down your throat now. You're doing that based off the Roman you know today. I know the Roman that I had seen 5 years ago, and the potential, if they carried the character correctly, got him a little more training on the mic and in the ring,
right?
He could have been that person. So so just to defend myself a little bit, I'm not saying 2018 Roman Reigns should have gone over the Undertaker 5 years ago.
No.
Hell no.
I agree.
That's my thing. And if anyone wants to call in at this point, I think this would be a great time. Tag it's Foulmouth Bobbitt in the chat. Tag Foulmouth space Bobbitt. Let him know, just in case the chat gets moving a little bit and he misses something. Let Bobbitt know that you want in. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this.
Absolutely.
And not just who should have ended the streak, but should the streak have ended, and if so, who? And
then we might have a trivia question for you.
Do you have one prepped up, or are you just asking for one of mine that I had made?
One of the ones you had.
Okay.
I ain't
wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, you're the one who had the trivia question, man.
Yeah, well, I know you were doing your own little independent study. That's what I didn't know.
Not really.
You obviously knew when his debut was. So.
That's because I did look it up. I'm not gonna lie. That's all I looked at.
While we're waiting to see if anyone wants to call in, maybe they're getting their phones out, or maybe we just suck that much that no one wants to talk to us. But whatever it is, I'll throw out one of these for you. Like I said, a few of them I already mentioned. The only handicap match of the streak was against two. It was a 1-on-2 match. Obviously, the Undertaker was the one. Who were the other two people? And I'll go ahead and throw out the hint. It was 2003. Wrestling memory, not for sure, but I'm almost positive it was WrestleMania, the WrestleMania 2003.
Fuck.
Sting should have 10 years ago.
We'll touch on that.
Oh, into the streak. Okay.
Well, I'll touch on Sting. I'll touch on Sting here in a little bit. You know what? I honestly, I want to say it was. God, who was big back
who
then?
I wish was here right now for this is Gina.
I know.
I bet you Gina would have a hell of a pick.
I honestly don't know.
I have the answer right in front of me.
I imagine you probably do, Bobbitt. Go ahead.
Well, you want to give it away, or do we want to wait another
No,
second
we can.
for the chat?
Anybody, please. Don't. All right, go ahead, Bobbitt.
Big Show and A-Train.
Okay.
And was it 2003?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Very good.
Oh wait,
I didn't have that in my notes.
Yeah, never mind. I had a dirt moment. Sorry.
Nice. No, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. The other tribute section back is that's the what?
You got the phone in your mouth? I couldn't hear you, but you were talking about it.
Oh no! I mean, I had a dick in my mouth.
Oh no! That's just not right. This is live, people. This is not recorded. I am being dead honest with you.
This is. You had a perfect setup. You had a perfect setup to say. I mean, how many times I said that Paige's voice sounds like she's talking through a dick in her mouth. I mean, you had a perfect opening there. My microphone wasn't right.
Okay.
But when was Taker versus Mankind Hell in a Cell? Not the date, but what event and what year?
It was 19. I don't know what day. I'm gonna guess because I just remember the match. I don't remember what day. It was like 19. I was probably drunk. It was probably like 1997.
Close.
98.
There you go. And what pay-per-view was it? Not the date.
Hell in a Cell? I really don't remember.
They didn't start branding Hell in a Cell till much
later. Yeah, no, I don't.
It's an actual pay-per-view. It doesn't exist anymore, sadly. But it was around for many years and jump-started a lot of careers. The theme of the event.
Judgment Day.
No.
Can I guess?
Do you have the answer in front of you, or are you legit guessing?
Well, legit guessing.
Okay, go ahead.
No Mercy?
Nope. Think of the themed pay-per-views, and there wasn't many back in the 90s, that was an annual pay-per-view that catapulted people's careers. And it's not Royal Rumble.
King of the Ring.
There you go.
Yes!
An awfully weird pay-per-view to have that match at, though.
Well, and that's the mentality.
Well, see,
today,
okay, so
pay-per-views. Back then, they just threw a match out whenever they wanted to, and to help bolster.
So we'll get it. We'll probably have an episode like this, but I'm going to say this now. This is why I hate the gimmick pay-per-views. Do I consider the Royal Rumble a gimmick pay-per-view? No, because
because we were raised on
it's a gimmick match, but it's still there's still other matches. Not every match is going to be a Royal Rumble. Like when you have a Hell in a Cell, you could just have a Hell in a Cell match. Just have every match in a Hell in a Cell. A Money in the Bank. That's a gimmick match that they started at WrestleMania.
I wish Money in the Bank was still WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania
Me too.
would do even better if it was.
Me too. I think it's bullcrap that they went and freaking did what they did. You know what I mean? That's just me though.
And another thing, this is supposed to be about Undertaker, but another thing that was nice about having Money in the Bank at WrestleMania was, the day after WrestleMania is like the last hurrah of having fun for the year with WWE, because new storylines start, things get dull, viewership even drops off. Mm-hmm. But with the Money in the Bank, it gave me something to look forward to 3 weeks down the road. Is Dolph Ziggler really going to cash that in tonight? What's Rob Van Dam going to do with it this week?
Mm-hmm.
But when it's in July and it's a pay-per-view, okay, cool, it's happening. At least I get to see it. The match is not on forever.
Right.
But by July, I'm already like, I wish WrestleMania was here. I wish Royal Rumble was here.
Right.
It maybe piques my interest a little bit, but like I just now remember that Carmella even has that fucking briefcase, and who really gives a fuck right now?
Mm-hmm.
You
definitely
did for the
not
first
me.
couple weeks.
I didn't care. I didn't care because they ruined it when and I'm throwing quotes up again in the air, when she won it the first time. Because she didn't win it the first time, so it ruined it for me. Why should I care about what? Not that I don't care that the women didn't deserve it. I don't want people to get me wrong here. I just don't care about the way they went about it. So why should I care if Carmella's holding the money in the bank briefcase? In my opinion, at that time they should have just taken it right off of her, and that's the end of it.
Right.
I think they ruined. I think they. Go ahead.
Could you have seen the Undertaker in a Money in the Bank match? Now, obviously,
he didn't.
Probably
No. Do you want to know why?
Had a couple times.
Do you want to know why? I don't think.
He didn't need it.
No, because he's above it. He doesn't need that match. Why does he need that match?
Right. That's what I just said.
Right. No, I'm just telling you. I'm not arguing with you, man. I'm just telling you.
I'm here to argue, motherfucker. We've been here for an hour. Being nice now.
All right, mother. All right. You want to argue?
I'll pull my lightsaber out, dick slap you across the cheek.
We'll argue.
And then give you my balls, your chin.
My balls, your chin. So
yeah, I mean, I find it odd when people who are that far over. And that's why when it's like John Cena's, even Kane, really. But if Undertaker was in it, I would be like, really, we're wasting the Undertaker's potential in a multi-person ladder match. But not a ladder.
You're put.
He's grab your arm, walk across the rope, and drop his arm across your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
That's you don't need him. I can't even think. Was there ever a time he was in a match where he had to climb a ladder? Has he ever been in a ladder match?
I don't think so.
You're still here. You seem to know all this shit. Where are you at?
he had to go eat.
Oh, that's right. I saw him say that. But if we're going to talk, let's talk specialty matches in Undertaker. We've obviously got the casket match things. We spoke about Hell in a Cell, which we'll get to in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
In a more detailed discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But the casket match.
Well, hey.
It's a neat concept for a match.
I don't remember any other two wrestlers ever being involved in it. It's always the Undertaker's always been involved in casket matches.
Mm-hmm. He had one with Kamala. He's had them with Kane. He's had more
than one with Kane, I think.
Yeah. Didn't he have one with Yokozuna also?
He may have.
They had to have that oversized casket.
Oh, that might. No, I think that was Kamala.
Right, but I thought they hyped up a time where, Kamala was obviously big, but I thought they were like, we have to get a special casket. They did promos with the Undertaker talking about how they had to go to a specialty shop to get this done. And
right.
The concept of the casket match, I liked.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it every day. You couldn't even do it every year.
Right.
But they made it good every time you saw it.
Oh, Trexter said he was in a ladder match with Jeff Hardy on Raw. When he was Big Evil. Big Evil was the motorcycle dude.
That was the
I liked his Buried Alive matches. Most of them matches were, I don't know, the Undertaker. I don't know if the Undertaker Stone Cold Buried Alive match was a title match. I don't think it was.
So he didn't only have one.
No, I know. He had one with Mankind. I can't
recall if it was for the title or not. And really, I think a Buried Alive match shouldn't be. The title should be irrelevant. You're burying your opponent alive. They've killed off characters with this match. You don't need a title. It's just like the streak. Fuck a title. I'm undefeated for 20 years.
No, don't know.
So he did that. So he brought in those two matches. The Boiler Room Brawl was more of a Mankind thing, but I think Undertaker's remembered somewhat for it.
Yeah.
But the one that's probably the most notable would be the Hell in a Cell.
Right.
And that leads us into his match with Shawn Michaels. It was a great match. I'm not trying to downplay that at all, but the one I think we all remember the most is that second one against Mankind. And I remember my father doesn't watch wrestling, doesn't care for it, but one day I sat down with him. I had King of the Ring, and I said, watch this one match with me. If you hate wrestling after this, well, he never hated. He just wasn't saying. I say, if you can't enjoy this match, then you're not going to ever enjoy anything about wrestling ever.
Right.
And after that match, he was like, well, he's gone back and watched it since then. He was just like, holy fuck, what did I just see?
Yeah.
And that was my dad, a non-wrestling fan, never really
cared. David says that he had a Buried Alive match with Mankind, Stone Cold, and Vince McMahon. Why does it sound like you got a penis in your mouth?
I don't know. That's probably my hoodie. Maybe I should put my hoodie on when we're doing these things.
Oh, okay.
Did it sound better right after you said it?
Yes.
Okay. That's probably my hoodie.
All right, we're going to take another real quick break, and I found that commercial, everybody's favorite commercial.
While you do that, I'm going to take off my hoodie. How do I put that on my hoodie?
Why don't you take off your hoodie?
Let's just make it a naked party.
Why don't you take off your hoodie?
Yeah, I'll take off my hoodie. If anything else comes off, I'll let you know.
That'd be great. I'll put it on camera. Just kidding, I can't. All right.
Yeah, my camera's off.
We will be right back in 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
Hi guys, it's Gerald Porshman here. You know, in 1861, the Dickens Beverage Company has been producing some of the best wines we have grown to love, including Chardonnays, and sparkling wines. Hey, Frederick von Dickens has now introduced a brand new cider that's been around for years, but is gradually making an impact on the global market. And it started right here on the Gold Coast. Dickens is slowly winning the taste buds of millions of cider drinkers from right around the world. And after sampling just one glass, I was hooked. I knew the ciders had been around for a while, but I just couldn't wait for my girlfriend to try a Dickens cider. When she arrived home from work, I told her to close her eyes, and before she knew it, I surprised her with a Dickens cider. I'm sure that there are many men out there who know of a woman that may be suffering from a debilitating migraine that could really benefit from a Dickens cider. So I'm urging all men to turn to their womenfolk and ask, when was the last time they had a Dickens cider?
I can't begin my day until I've had a Dickens cider.
There's nothing better than waking up to a good old Dickens cider.
My girlfriend loves Dickens ciders. My sister came to stay with us for a month, and my husband couldn't go a day without the Dickens cider.
My girlfriend loves a Dickens cider.
My mum loves the Dickens cider.
My sister loves to wake up in the morning with a Dickens cider.
I'm a bit young, but I would love to try a Dickens cider.
So there you have it. For over 150 years, Frederick von Dickens has developed a beverage that literally brings women to their knees. So fellas, for the sake of the economy, get a Dickens cider.
Alright.
No, it's not done yet.
I knew that the ciders had been around for a while, and I couldn't wait for my girlfriend to try a Dickens cider. So when she arrived home from work, I told her to close her eyes, and before she knew it, I surprised her with a Dickens cider. They could really benefit from a Dickens cider. I'm urging all men to turn to their womenfolk and ask them, when was the last time they had a Dickens cider? I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this, seriously. So there you have it. For over 150 years, my hero, Frederick von Dickens, has developed a beverage that literally brings women to their knees. So, fellas, for the sake of the economy, get a Dickens cider. Too funny. Too funny.
Now is it done?
Now it's done.
Yeah, TSS2, those were the bloopers. When that moment of silence was there and it started back up, it was switching over to the bloopers.
Right.
But that thing's great. I mean, you played that 4 or 5 times now, and it's so fun.
Sit.
So, we were talking about specialty matches with The Undertaker, and we were leading into Hell in a Cell, 1998. I told you the story about my dad watching it and saying he actually enjoyed the match. One of my fondest memories, and I've watched it so many times, it's not so much memory as it is I know that match, but so Foley went off the top of the cage and through the table. And if anyone's read the book Have a Nice Day, Mick Foley's first biography book that he did, he talks about how he wasn't supposed to go off the top of that cage, that they'd kind of talked about it, him and Undertaker talked about it before the match, but that, no one was given the green light or anything. And when they got up there, Mankind just walked up and goes, "All right, throw me off." Taker's like, "All right, fuck it, shoot."
Right.
He said it literally went down like that, like he said it. Taker's like, "All right, crazy motherfucker, time to go." And they would never get away with that today. They would have been fined, suspended, you name it. But because you notice now when they come off that cage, it's not off the top like that. I mean, I was cringing like hell the last time Shane was up there here a couple months ago.
Right.
But you knew he wasn't coming off that way. he was going to be hanging off the side of it.
Right. So that match, not you're talking about the Hell in a Cell match. We're talking about the Hell in a Cell match, right?
Yeah, the Undertaker
match. So this is actually my favorite match, Undertaker match, because not only did it's actually my Mankind, my Mick Foley, favorite match of Mick Foley too. The reason I like that match so much is because the way it was put together. I don't think that was supposed to. Well, yeah, him going off the was supposed to happen. I just love the match just because it was. It's what really got me back deep into wrestling again. Was that match?
Right. I'll be honest, I didn't get to watch that live. What brought me back into wrestling, because we had moved about a year prior and didn't have cable for a while. Then when we got back cable, I kind of forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the day Owen Hart died. Because most of you know I live in Kansas City, and that happened in Kansas City.
Right.
And it was all over the news. I was playing a video game. My dad burst in the room and was like, dude, come out here now. And I was watching that next Monday night, and I watched for, another probably 7 years before, I started working jobs where I was always working nights and stuff and couldn't watch it and didn't have a VCR set up to record it. But I'm getting off topic there.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to watch that match live, so I had it on tape and I watched it 100 times over. When he went through the top of the cage the second time he spilled and he got choke slammed through the cage, one thing I will never forget, if I forget everything about wrestling, one thing I will never forget is as soon as he hit his head on that chair, it just went like a pile of rocks. Jerry Lawler saying, "That's it, he's dead." Oh. That's another one of those spine-chilling moments.
Right.
The first time I heard him say that.
Yep.
Because you kind of believed it.
Yep.
You did believe it. You thought he was. And that was not Jerry the King Lawler. That was Jerry Lawler, the human being, going, "That's it, he's dead."
Yep. Totally agree.
And yeah, slightly off the Undertaker topic, but it was one of those matches where you went, where did they go from here?
Right.
Because after Big Show got thrown off the top of the arena, which was a work, or when Hawk fell off the top of the Titantron. I mean, I remember my brother, if he's still in there, he may remember this. But I looked at him back then and I said, this is where wrestling's going to start going downhill. And it's going to be like the early mid-90s again. He's like, what do you mean? I said, they've thrown people off the top of the building. Where the fuck do you go from here?
Yep.
Are we going to throw them off the top of the world? This before 9/11. Are we going to throw them off the top of the World Trade Center? Is that going to be enough? Do we need to shoot someone to the moon, Ultimate Warrior style, and have a match on the moon? We've done it all.
Yeah, I
Yes, Bobbitt. Yes, I do.
Sorry, my throat's all fucked up. I apologize.
Still a little under the weather.
Me? I don't know. But yeah,
it is like -20 there the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so your heater's probably drying out.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But just the whole Undertaker just phenomenon, and that's why he's called the Phenom. That's what I take from it. Is just his career is just there's so much, and I think this may have to go at least another hour next week. Easily.
I was just thinking the same thing. I don't know if we can get 2 more in.
No, we can give another hour.
I don't know if we'll wrap it up in 30 minutes either.
Say it again.
I said I was just thinking the same thing. I don't know if we can do another 2 hours with it next week.
No.
But I don't think we can squeeze it in 30 either.
No. But I would like it's just the Undertaker, his career just so it's hard for me to talk about him because I mean you can sit here and just talk about memories upon memories upon memories. Every time he came back, because towards the end of his career, he only came back for WrestleMania, and he'd be back for maybe a couple of months before that, but he wouldn't have a match. When is the last time you seen the Undertaker have a match at Raw or SmackDown? When's the last time you seen? When's the last time you seen the Undertaker in a Raw or SmackDown ring?
Aside from lead up to WrestleMania.
Yep.
It would have been when he came back after the Shield, the night that he faced Punk, I think. Didn't the Shield get involved? And he came back the next night and had a tag match with Kane against the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But
I don't know.
He was on Raw that night and had a match. And I think he came out again that next night or next week on Raw. And he also was involved in SummerSlam, but that was the last time. And if I'm saying Shield, we're talking 5-6 years ago.
Huh. Yep.
So there's your answer.
Yep. I think for me, the last time I remember him being in a WWE ring, besides WrestleMania, was, I mean, sure he was to actually, I'm not even going to say compete, because I don't think I seen the WrestleMania, the Raws leading up to WrestleMania last year, to be honest with you. I think I was gone somewhere. Was when the Survivor Series, when SmackDown won, and he was in there talking about they were saying SmackDown's got to win this match or something like that. You remember that?
Say that one more time.
When the Undertaker was in the not this Survivor Series, but Survivor Series from the previous year, where he had AJ Styles, I think it was AJ Styles, John Cena, right after the brand split, he came back and said, this is, you've got to win this for SmackDown or something, or I can't remember. But that's the last time I remember Undertaker being in a WWE ring, period.
That sounds about right.
The last ring, or the last non-WrestleMania ring he was in was the Royal Rumble this last year.
Oh, that's true.
Huh. Yeah, I did not know that.
You didn't know that he was in the Rumble? Or are you saying you forgot?
Oh, no, I was talking about just like SmackDown or Raw is what I was talking about.
You're right then, Jake. It was around that time.
I knew he was in Royal Rumble. He got knocked out by freaking Roman Reigns, which led to the fucking match at WrestleMania. Fucking retarded.
Hey, Bobbitt, can you go ahead and remind us who the sponsor of the show is tonight?
Sure thing, Drew. Tonight's awesome broadcast of the Wrestle Memories podcast is brought to you by Nut Wipes. Ladies, if you're feeling loose and unforgiving, use Nut Wipes. They'll make it nice and firm.
Thank you. I almost forgot to throw that out there, the official sponsor. And make sure all the kids were in bed.
Are you sure they're all in bed?
Nah, probably not. I mean, Enrico's still here. I think he's got school tomorrow, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw what you said in the chat, Enrico, so I'm firing back, buddy.
Give me a second. I got something for your asses. Oh, yeah. It's picture time. I'm going to show you our sponsor.
Oh, yeah. While you're at it, can you tell me why my phone's not charging? This is not cool.
I don't know. Do you need a new one?
Jeez, I hope it's not a new phone. I mean, I'd rather just be a new cord than get.
Right?
Read?
Bear with me. But yes, the Undertaker is such a... We can sit here and talk about it, but to remember everything is kind of hard. If you understand what I mean. What the fuck are you doing?
I was trying to find another charger so I can try and charge this thing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean it.
All right. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of our sponsor. And there's our sponsor for tonight, guys. You'll see it in a second.
Well, they're seeing it now. We're not.
Oh, yeah. But
damn you, delay!
There you go.
Hey, there it
is. As you can see, the picture, the lady is holding up her thumbs. It's awesome.
Yeah. And if you do actually find it out in stores, let us know where you found it. Because I don't know what the fuck they sell it.
Right? So you got anything else there, Drew?
Oh yeah, we still got plenty more. We discussed Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I wanted to talk about is the American Badass versus the Phenom versus the Dead Man versus the Ministry. That to me there was 4 different eras of the Undertaker. We touched on a little bit earlier. You've got the original Dead Man that we talked extensively about earlier. Then you've got the Ministry Undertaker that was the cult leader, the one who put Stephanie on the cross and was going to, give her to the higher power.
Correct.
Then there was the American Badass after that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got, I guess, the Phenom. Is that what you would call him? The incomparable Undertaker? The old motherfucker. I don't know what term you want to give him. But the Undertaker today.
Mm-hmm.
So
hey, just the Undertaker. Just who's my favorite Undertaker? I think they all are, to be honest with you. I mean, my least favorite one of them all would be the American Badass one.
Really? See, I've heard a lot of people say that.
I didn't care for the biker gimmick that he had. I get it, but I didn't. To me, that wasn't really the Undertaker. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That it really wasn't
it?
If you want to, it didn't make him the Phenom, though.
But it just carried. It made his legacy bigger than what it is.
Well, no, it did. I'm not saying that I didn't like it. I did. I'm just saying it was probably my least favorite one. If I had to choose, but it's so hard to choose because every phase that he went through was genius. It was genius. I don't care. I don't know how much better you can describe that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I liked the American Badass. I enjoyed it. I thought it was refreshing. I also, Undertaker, he was never my favorite. I'll say that. I'm never saying that I hated him or disliked him. There was always someone I liked better when he was around. Whether it was Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels, whether it was Stone Cold, whether it was The Rock.
When he was what? I didn't hear what you said. When he was a what?
A dick sucker? I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, when he was the American Badass.
Okay.
So, but there was never a point in Undertaker's career where I considered him my favorite wrestler. There was always someone that I liked more.
Mm-hmm.
And you could go through each decade and I could list them off. But the American Badass was, that and the Ministry Undertaker were probably my favorites, the ones that were kind of in the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
And no, not because they're the Attitude Era. It was the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
But the early Undertaker was just, like I said, a lot of those first few years are kind of fake to me because I just really didn't care until he started getting involved with the evil Undertaker and Mankind, and that around that time period, right before the Attitude Era.
Right.
But in the Attitude Era, he got the Ministry. It was demonic almost. Almost. It was demonic. He said before how he hated doing that character because it towed the lines of his beliefs as a person. Yep. But I really enjoyed that. I remember watching Stephanie laying on that cross and, with everyone else, hoping Austin would see the light and come help her. And it just really compelled me. Big D, David Wells, mentioned Boss Man being hung. That was during the Ministry time.
Yeah, that was probably his worst match ever. It was not, it was one of the most tasteless. I don't even think he liked doing it, to be honest with you, because it was really a tasteless moment that the WWE should have never. It was an oh my god moment, but it's one of those moments that really you're going to go there and do this. And this wasn't too far after. Okay, was it? Could I be wrong? Somebody just died. They committed suicide. And they did this.
Oh, they were piggybacking off of a real life event, is what you're saying?
Yeah, no, not piggybacking off of it, but something had happened, and I don't know. I don't think it was Chris Benoit. No, it wasn't Chris Benoit because that was.
No, this would have been before that. This was around the Ministry.
Brian Pillman, did Brian Pillman just die or something like that, and they did this? I can't remember, but something had happened, and they said it was really tasteless. The way that they
Michael Hutchins of In Excess had committed suicide.
Okay.
Around that time frame, maybe 6 months prior. I don't know if they were poking fun at that though. But that was around the same time frame. That's the only suicide that I can recollect that involved choking of any sort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I it was really tasteless the way that they went about it.
Yeah. But the Ministry Undertaker as a whole compelled me.
Right.
The American Badass one, like Alpha said in the chat, it was an extension of his character, and that was back in the time period where they were encouraging everyone to hone in on their inner selves and put that into their persona. That's what Stone Cold did. You saw the ECW Stone Cold, where Steve Austin, should I say, where that character was kind of starting to take form a little bit for him. But he was really given the ball with WWE, WWF at the time, and was able to run with it. And he was like, I just was being myself. I was just ramping it up to 10. Triple H has said the same thing. And I think that's what Undertaker was trying to do. and some people liked it, some people didn't. And
Right.
It sounds like we disagree on that. But I loved the music at the time. Everyone was getting really cool musicians to do their music at the time. The motorcycle thing coming to the ring was original, with the exception of Stone Cold and his ATV, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that actually came later.
The what? Say it again.
Stone Cold's ATV was after the American Badass, so that would have been a relatively original idea to be riding around the ring on something.
I think it was pretty much right around the same time. I think I think that's when the Stone Cold and the Undertaker were having a feud because he might have been mocking him.
It could have been, but Undertaker would have done it first.
All right, Heather, we love you. Hey, you guys, Heather starts in 15 minutes, and go pop over to her show after we're done here. We'll be done here in about 5-10 minutes. We're just kind of we wanted to make this a two-parter, so we're gonna probably leave some extra stuff. But after we're done here, everybody, let's go over to Heather's and show her some support. She showed me support. She showed Drew support. She shows everybody in this, I call it a family, a support. So let's go over there and show her some support as well after we're done here.
For those of you who don't have the chat, I know some people watch it on their televisions and that. I always forget to think about that the chat doesn't reach everybody. If you don't know who Heather is, it's Tattooed Mistress, space in between the two words, and you should be able to find her that way. Yep. And her show is called Rage and Ink, so that way you know you got the right channel in case there was misspelling or there's multiple ones out there or something. But that's how you'll find her.
And her show is very good. I'm gonna call in because I told you I was gonna have a bad day, and I did. But
looking forward to that. You built us up on that one.
But yep. So we'll finish up here. We'll hit on Sting and Undertaker because they had parallel freaking careers, man. I mean, they were almost parallel.
So just to wrap up the whole this version versus this version versus this version, I will say that by the time he came back as the Dead Man, after the American Badass gimmick, I was ready for it. But I think it ran its course appropriately, and it did entertain.
I liked, to be honest with you, I'm gonna say this now. The Undertaker gimmick that the Dead Man that they had at the end was. Imagine if they would have done that when he first started. How over do you think he would have been? Do you think you'd still be calling him the Undertaker, or do you think it'd be
just the Phenom or the Phenom Callaway or something?
I wouldn't even. I don't think if they had, because he took his career ending, and I'll probably say this again tomorrow. Towards the end of his career, it was a culmination of everything that the guy had done. This is why I think they should have never defeated his streak at WrestleMania, because it was a culmination of everything. If you look at it closely, look at the middle picture. The middle picture is the end of his career. And actually, the character you're seeing on your left side and the character you're seeing on the right side meet in the middle. Look at it. You can't tell me it don't. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, that's very true.
I was just thinking about that.
That's very true.
But
well, yeah, because there's not just do they combine kind of an age, but they also combine in personas. It's like, and I've said this term before, the hybrid. He's a hybrid Undertaker now. It's the American Badass meets the Gravedigger Undertaker, meets the Ministry Undertaker, meets everything.
Yep.
And it's all like they meld into one person.
Absolutely.
The problem is he's fucking 53 years old.
Yep. Yep. And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, that being said, guys, we will do this again next Thursday, and it'll probably only be an hour this time. I think we've pretty much hit on most of, we'll probably just hit up on everything that we talk about, and it'll give me a week to think about, other stuff as well.
I've got another topic or two on the list.
Of course.
That we didn't touch on yet, so we can save that too.
Yeah, of course, and we'll make it. We're gonna try to cut it into an hour. So start at 6:30 and go until 7:30, so that I can take a break.
And that also affords us overruns. So we don't butt into Heather's show.
Exactly.
If we do run over.
Exactly. And if we have to, if we go over an hour and there's still more to talk, we'll talk about Undertaker again. I could talk about Undertaker all day. I could.
Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse either, because I feel like people will be like, oh, Undertaker again. So I want to make sure we don't touch on a lot of the same stuff.
Like I said, actually, guys,
the danger of doing a two-part thing.
If this show, actually, I'm not gonna lie to you, this has only been an idea for a week.
Yeah.
So we were like,
New Year's Day,
and I had nothing to do. Yep. And I'm like, I had nothing to do, so I'm like, hey, I'm cool with it. You just write it up, do an idea, and we'll run with it. And we did, and I like it. It's a good start. We're gonna do more. But we'll be better prepared next time.
Should I hype up the one that I don't know when, but hype up the one that we discussed before the show?
Sure.
You want me to hold on to that?
No, actually, because you might hear me and Drew actually argue during this one, and I mean, it's not going to be like we're going to fight. We're not going to. I want to jump through the damn. Well, I don't want to jump through the computer screen and beat the shit out of him, but it's going to be Chris Benoit.
It's the podcast that no one wants to touch.
I'll touch it. I don't care.
No one has the balls to do this podcast. We're going to do it.
Because I don't care.
So I don't know when. It's not going to be next week. Could be the week after. We'll have to see. This one, it won't be really wrestling memories. I'm actually going to research it. Because it's like Drew said, this is one of those podcasts that you just have. Nobody does it. Nobody wants to do it. And everybody's forgotten about him. Well, I don't want to forget about him, because I will say this, touching on that real quick, I don't think he belongs in the Hall of Fame, but I will say this, he deserves to be talked about. I'm right there with you on that. I don't praise Chris Benoit, the human being.
No.
I really don't even praise the wrestler, but he deserves his spot in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves his spot as a former WWE champion, or World Heavyweight Champion, rather.
Yep.
He deserves his spot in those moments, and it shouldn't be taken away from him. From his character, I should say. Fuck the human being.
Mm-hmm.
But the character of Chris Benoit should be remembered for what he was, and not what he became as a human being. Mm-hmm. And we can't just erase that. WWE has spent the last 10 and a half years erasing that from our memories.
Mm-hmm.
And until recently, until the network hadn't even made it possible for us to see him.
Yep.
Without having an old tape or YouTube.
Yep.
But we're going to do it.
Yep.
We're going to talk about it, and I agree with you. I want to research especially the murder-suicide and make sure I know my facts are straight.
Yeah, I don't want to hear conspiracy theories. We'll talk about it, but I don't agree with them.
We're not going to talk about Kevin Sullivan or anything.
You kind of have to, because it was his ex-wife that he did marry. But
I don't see it. But we'll get into that, because I've got some thoughts on that.
We'll do an hour. We'll do another hour on the Undertaker. And guys, I need you to call in, because that's why I gave you the 2 hours plus another possible 2 hours next week, because hoping to fill time with calling in. So don't be afraid to call in, guys. Remember, I don't know everything, and you guys just want to fill us in. Give us what you remember of the Undertaker. What was your favorite match? What was your favorite moment, period, from the Undertaker? But yeah,
do you have Brian's tweet from earlier?
Yes, I did. We'll talk about that next week.
We will. Okay.
Yep.
Brian, thank you for your tweet. I responded to it, but we wanted to highlight it on the show as well. So look for that next week.
You will get it. It's going to be a def next week. It's just going to have to be reminded to me.
No, I'll put it in my notes so we don't forget. I don't want to rely on him. It's not his job to remind us.
No, I was talking to you. You remind me, not Brian.
Oh. Well, I just said, hey, Brian, remind us. I'm like, what? It's not his job to remind us.
I meant you. I didn't. Did I say Brian? I apologize.
I did.
Oh, yeah. Just remind me next week, and we'll talk about it, because you might even hear me and Drew argue about this, because I disagree with him on it, and we'll leave that little teaser till next week.
All right.
But so I'm gonna pop off here. I'm gonna let everybody go. Get over to Tattooed Mistress. Let me. Any minute now. Just get on over there. If you want to check out Drew, I don't know what his Twitter is. What's your Twitter, Drew? I'm following him. Go ahead.
It's at Gatekeeper 5150.
Okay, mine is at JP Baker 91, and you've got Bobbitt, who is our producer, who did a really good job tonight, even though he's being a smartass in the chat. I'm just kidding, Bobbitt. I love you. You know that. What's your Twitter there, big guy?
You can catch me at Foulmouth Bobbitt.
And you've got a podcast that you're going to be doing here?
Yep, I am known for the world's famous Swamp Ass podcast on the Foulmouth Bobbitt channel. Please check it out.
When's your next podcast there, buddy?
Probably in a couple of days, because I want to touch on the Logan Paul situation.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. All right, whatever. Go check out Bobbitt.
Ken did 2.5 hours on it. Can't Bobbitt have 10?
Sure, why not? I don't care. Y'all know how I feel about it. I might even touch up on it, even though you know what? Fuck him. He doesn't deserve my attention. So, not saying he doesn't deserve Bobbitt's attention, but I just don't care. So you can follow him on that. Get over there and check him out. Get over there to Tattoo Mistress. Check her out. Check out Drew on Twitter. You'll see us. Most of you guys are in our Twitter chat. Check us out on the Twitter chat. Some of you guys are in the news and notes. If you get any news and notes, please pop over there. Also, real quick, I guess Lana and Rusev are tag team partners now in this stupid mixed match tag thing.
Oh, God.
And then Sasha Banks and Finn Balor are tag team partners. So
damn it! I left my jug of bleach back in the garage at
well,
home.
the Sasha Banks Balor one doesn't bother me as bad as the Rusev Lana one does. But there you go, guys. I love you guys, and you can check us out on next week it'll probably be about 6:30 this next week. We'll talk about it and Twitter it out like Drew did this last week. I got too busy with work to tweet anything out, so I'm leaving that up to him and our producer Bobbitt.
I retweeted it a couple times.
I may have, but I
cheers, everyone.
I love you guys, and I will see you over at Heather's, and y'all have a great night.